A little bit about my scarf. This was given to me by a poet from India that was on tour. And she said, Ariadne, every sparkle is a poet of the world. And so I'd like to say we had so many messages from so many poets from so many different countries today. And I would like to say, thinking of all of those wonderful people, the Afghan people, the silent ones that I talked about earlier, that they just mean a lot to me, even though they can't sort of come out and be heard. And the African people, the Greek, amazing, amazing peoples, Latin America, the Canadian people, all over the world. These are your sparkles, your beauty, and your empowerment. So thank you. We have wonderful two new poets tonight, and I'm very honored to introduce, and I'm hoping I'll get her name correct, Lousanne Ham, who was born and raised in Baghdad, Iraq, the fifth in a family of 10 children, 8 girls, 2 boys. Kurdish from northern Iraq, moved permanently to Kurdistan in the north after the Iran-Iraq war ended in 1988. Survived the darkness and fear of the Desert Storm of 1991 and the violent, bloody uprising of Kurds. 35 people lived as refugees in an ARV designed for 2 over 16 days up in the mountains. She left Iraq in 1993, lived in Ankara, Turkey illegally as asylum seekers until they migrated to Canada in 1995. She will forever be blessed at the morning of the day she landed here. And she wrote poetry as early as preteen years, but after being laughed by her peers and siblings, she stopped writing, or would write and toss away so no one would judge her. Her uncle, poet and musician, gasped when he heard it. After hearing one of her poems, then he told her to write and keep what she writes. He even offered his house for a place to hide his poems. His kindness inspired her. It's only been 5 to 6 months since she started to rewrite and read out loud her poems. She is married since 2000 and has 2 boys, 9 and 11, and 3 cats. One of them is a crazy one named Romeo. Because he's in love with me and follows me around like a lover. At least he's not attacking you all the time. So without further ado, please give a warm welcome to this wonderful poet, originally from the Latin.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm honored. Thank you, Ona, for asking me to be here. I guess I'll just start reading for you. I'll make a very small introduction. The first poem I'll read for you is something happened to me at age 19 during the Desert Storm. All alone, desperate, hopeless, and decided. Items in hand, goodbye letters halfway created. Afraid of the dark all her life, is not afraid tonight. No fear of darkness encompassing her that fateful night. The darkness inside was darker, she knew that. In a house filled with people, felt isolated, hollow, and melancholy. Knees bent, facing down in a dark room, no more than a glimmer of light of the moon shone through a narrow window above. Tears flowing, barely able to write another word, began to pray to God of love she never heard of, never knew, never believed in. Tonight she didn't pray to the God of the religion she was born into. She's praying to the God of love. One last line before she make use of her items. Items that will end the suffering and the pain, once and for all. One last prayer to God, and she never knew. A bright light, a very bright light, terrified her. Shut her eyes, she sobs uncontrollably. I love you. I have planned for you. I knew you before you were here. The light, the heavenly light, those words dismantled, shattered the plans of a desperate soul. Light of the world is love. He find in the depth of darkness those who search and pull them up to the light.